Hey, what's going on, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. We've got the latest Juan Soto rumors coming up in just a second. The Nationals asking price has been revealed, and Dodgers president Andrew Friedman, he had some comments about the idea of the Dodgers trading for Soto. We're going to dive into that in just a second. But first, for our latest Dodgers news and rumors, all trade deadline long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And as always, I want your fire takes down below in the comments section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day. Juan Soto will be traded to the blank. Let me know what your gut tells you which team is going to trade for Juan Soto. And also, do you want to see the Dodgers get involved even if the asking price is astronomical? Let me know down below. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. Okay, we've got all the latest Juan Soto rumors to get into. The Soto sweepstakes are heating up. Last night, Soto was in Los Angeles. Nationals taking on the Dodgers. Soto hit a triple. We're going to talk about that in just a second. We've got some trade packages to throw your way. The Nationals asking price has been revealed. But first, MLB insider Jeff Passan, in his piece for ESPN.com this morning, he discussed the idea of whether or not the Nationals are really going to move him at the deadline. Passan wrote, multiple executives involved in Soto trade discussions said they are unsure. One believes Soto is moving regardless because of the team's ownership status. The Nationals currently are up for sale, and the notion that new ownership's first move would be to trade a future Hall of Famer in his prime, the executive said, is problematic. Dealing Soto now, he said, would offer the new owner a clean slate. So, would it be a situation where if you were going to buy the Nationals, would you want to buy this new franchise and your first move is to trade Juan Soto? Do you want the curse of the childish Bambino on your record? You probably wouldn't. No one wants to be the guy or the ownership group that trades the superstar, that trades a future Hall of Famer, because fans will have that on you for the duration of your ownership. So it does make sense from that standpoint, but then Passan will go on to write, on the other hand, another executive said, the impediments to a Soto deal are so significant, he sees the next week more as a feeling out period, a precursor to an off-season move. If the Nationals don't move Soto now, they have 2 more months of scouting and data analysis of minor leaguers to consider. They can present Soto as a fiscally prudent alternative to Aaron Judge, Trey Turner, and Xander Bogaerts, all of whom will seek $200+ million in free agent contracts this winter. Soto will make somewhere in the range of $25 million next year and perhaps $35 million in 2024 through arbitration. Hefty numbers, yes, but still depressed compared to his free market value and production. And then finally, he wrote, while this isn't purely a 2-team race, the New York Yankees and Los Angeles Dodgers both have the talent, money, and motivation to make a worthwhile offer. The San Diego Padres and St. Louis Cardinals are considered the favorites for a right-now trade because of a litany of factors, sources said. So we've heard the Cardinals and the Padres mentioned as the 2 front runners. You've heard other people talk about possibly the Tampa Bay Rays with their deep farm system, their ability to develop prospects as a team that has the prospect capital to get a deal done for Juan Soto. But for the love of baseball, don't allow Juan Soto to go to the Tampa Bay Rays. Yes, I respect what they do in Tampa, but you don't need one of the transcendent superstars on Tampa Bay. Look, you look at their attendance, it's fine for what they are, but you don't need Juan Soto playing in front of 10,000 fans or 20,000 fans. Sometimes you look at the Marlins and the Tampa Bay Rays, it feels like they're still having COVID restrictions with attendance. No, you need Juan Soto in a major market. And when I hear Jeff Passan saying that, to me, I think it's bluffing. I think the Nationals, especially based on some people I've talked to, they fully intend on trading him because they're expecting to be floored with very competitive and aggressive offers. Now, if the offers aren't up to their asking price, I fully understand waiting until the offseason, but Juan Soto's value is as high as it's going to get because he's under 2.5 years of team control. A little less than that now, but you're talking 3 postseasons. 3 postseasons of a 23-year-old Juan Soto, who's already an elite player, one of the best bats in the league, one of the biggest impact bats you're going to find, and you can get him for 3 runs. So to me, if I'm the Nationals, I'm trading him at this deadline. Now, we've already heard a lot of rumors about the Nationals' sky-high asking price, the King's ransom that they're going to want for Juan Soto. Well, we got some new information on the Nationals' asking price, and we're going to get into that in just a second. But first, Andrew Friedman, he appeared on Sportsnet LA before last night's Dodgers-Nationals game, and he was asked by John Hartung about the possibility of trading for Juan Soto, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, obviously it's hard for me to talk about specific players on other teams, but I will echo what I've said in the past, that star players don't come available very often. And so when they are, we owe it to our fans to be by the backboard and to see those things out. And, we've been fortunate to line up on some, but obviously there's a lot that goes into that in terms of future payroll outlook, runway of kind of talent coming from the minor leagues, the control of our major league players and what we're anticipating in terms of holes as we look out. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But the one thing I know is whenever star level players become available, we'll always have the conversation and dig in and try to make something make sense.
Okay, so my big takeaway there is when Andrew Friedman is giddy, when he's doing appearances, it usually means something is happening. Look, what I always say about Andrew Friedman, he only speaks when it's time to yell checkmate. We saw the interview he did with MLB Network before it was announced that they had signed Freddie Freeman, and I do think he has similar vibes. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's about Soto. It could be about another impact bat. It could be about a Luis Castillo or another starting pitcher. So I definitely think that he's operating right now and he's trying to upgrade this roster. But I do think he also said a little more than you would have expected in regards to the possibility of trading for a player of Juan Soto's caliber. He hammered home a point that I've been trying to hammer home for months now. What have I been telling you? There's been over 20,000 players that have played in the show. There's been just 271 Hall of Famers. Superstars do not grow on trees. You can have prospects all day. The Dodgers, Keith Law ranked them as the #1 farm system heading into the season. But if you look at the Dodgers farm system in the last 10, 15, 20 years, who's the one transcendent generational superstar? It's Clayton Kershaw. Yes, there's been a lot of all-stars, lots of star players, but the real Hall of Famers, they are very, very rare, and that is what Juan Soto is on track to be one day. It's not just your everyday all-star. This guy is on a Hall of Fame trajectory if he continues to progress and he avoids injury. But the other most telling thing from Andrew Friedman there was when he said that they owe it to their fans to wait by the backboard to see this out. Now, when he says the backboard, to me it almost feels like he's saying that if another team out there, the Cardinals, the Padres, they go for the slam dunk and it doesn't go through, that the Dodgers will be right there for the putback dunk. They're going to go full Dennis Rodman. They're going to go Charles Barkley, some of the best rebounders in the game. They're going to be there for that rebound. I think the Dodgers, they have an offer that they're comfortable with. I think they have a list of prospects that they're willing to part ways with if it's for a player of Juan Soto's caliber. And I also think that they would happily take on Patrick Corbin's remaining 2 years and $59 million if it means they get to keep more of those prospects and more of those assets. And you also consider the fact that the Dodgers do well with reclamation projects. You have Dr. Mark Pryor that pretty much can fix anything. So I think if you're the Dodgers in this situation, the real path for Soto is absorbing a Patrick Corbin contract to cut down on the amount of players that you're going to have to give up. Because today we learned that the asking price for Juan Soto, it's actually bigger than we originally thought. Fabian Ardai of The Athletic, he wrote, "Now clubs are scrambling to see what it might take to pry Soto loose. The Nationals are seeking 6 prospects plus," a source confirmed to The Athletic. "Big league players with minimal service time could be on the table too." He also wrote, "A club could take on one of the Nationals' bad contracts, such as the one for left-hander Patrick Corbin, who is owed a combined $59 million for the next 2 seasons. Beyond this one, though $10 million of that is deferred, and has the worst ERA in baseball this year among qualified starters. Even with that, the Nationals' ask for Soto is astronomical." So let's break out the Dodgers rumor meter, and for the rumor that has the Dodgers in the mix for Juan Soto. I'm going to give this a 3 Dodger dogs. Now, it's going to take it a lot to get past that 3 Dodger dogs, but I definitely think there's some serious smoke about the fact that the Dodgers, at the very least, are in the mix for Juan Soto. So let's say the Dodgers don't want to take on that Patrick Corbin contract. How much would Juan Soto cost? What would a trade package look like? Well, based on that, here's what it would look like. The Dodgers get outfielder Juan Soto, and the Nationals get right-handed pitcher Dustin May, infielder, outfielder Gavin Lux, number 1 prospect Diego Cartaya, number 2 prospect Bobby Miller, number 3 prospect Michael Busch, number 4 prospect Andy Pages, number 5 prospect Miguel Vargas, number 6 prospect Ryan Pepio. Yes, a complete gutting of the top of that farm system. That is how big of a haul this could require to land Juan Soto. And to me, if you look at that deal, that's just astronomical. Yes, Juan Soto is a fantastic player, but what do the Dodgers need this season? They need some more starting pitching. You guys know that everyone out there is saying Luis Castillo this, Luis Castillo that. I've been talking about Luis Castillo for literally 2 years, and he is the best starting pitcher on the market. He gives the Dodgers that dominant dimension, a guy that can miss bats with that four-seam fastball, has that lethal changeup. He'd be fantastic in Dodger blue. And if you trade away all these top prospects for Juan Soto, what are you going to give to the Cincinnati Reds for Luis Castillo? How are you going to address your starting pitching needs? You saw Gonsolin again give up some runs. Yes, he did have 5 scoreless frames, but he has been giving up a lot of hits lately, not missing as many bats. You don't know how Dustin May is going to return, Walker Buehler's going to return. How will Clayton Kershaw's health hold up? So there's a lot of questions with this Dodgers rotation. And let's say you do make a trade for Juan Soto and you have to give up Dustin May, the guy that they had hoped would come back and be an X factor for the Dodgers. So are they really in a better position? Offensively, there's no question about it. And on the flip side, you could say to yourself, hey, you have Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Juan Soto locked up for at least the next 3 postseasons. That is a fantastic core, and who knows what happens with Trey Turner. Yes, that's great top-end talent. And you also trust this Dodgers farm system to replenish itself, to draft and develop. But you're not having as many draft picks, and you don't have any assets to address future needs, especially this season. So maybe if you take on Patrick Corbin's contract, could you trade them Cody Bellinger, who still has 1 more arbitration year left? Now, I don't think teams out there are going to value Cody Bellinger like the Dodgers do defensively, but if you bring in Juan Soto, you throw him in left field. What do you do with Chris Taylor, who can really only play the outfield this season? I think possibly would you include Belly in the deal, have Chris Taylor play center, and then Mookie in right, and then Juan Soto in left? That's a possibility. We know that Mookie can play center as well. So it's very complicated to get a deal done for Juan Soto, but that is where it stands. What you need to know right now is, 1, the Dodgers are definitely in the mix. To say they're not in the mix is just untrue. I've talked to people. They're definitely in the mix. The asking price is very astronomical, and some insiders and executives, they have their doubts as to whether the Nationals are truly going to ship him off this trade season. But to me, I think when you consider the haul that he could fetch right now with the 3 postseasons, these big markets after him, you even have smaller markets that are after him, I just think they're going to find a way to maximize their return on him, and he will be shipped out. So if you had to ask me right now, I wouldn't bet on the Dodgers trading for Soto at the moment, but never count the Dodgers out. Never count Andrew Friedman out, because if they can get him at a price they're comfortable with, the Dodgers 100% will. But they're currently interested in Luis Castillo. Also, they've kicked the tires on JD Martinez. So I'm going to be dropping a video on right-handed bats, on starting pitchers, so be on the lookout for that as well. So that's where it stands right now for Juan Soto and some of these other trade rumors. But let me know down below in the comment section. Fill in the blank. Who do you think ends up trading for Juan Soto? And would you trade the farm for Soto? Let me know down below. My name is DMAC. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. For all latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, breakdowns, and more all season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.